We have some special guest members from the GMS DC Church. But first and foremost, as always, we want to give all praises, honor, and glory to the Heavenly Father and His only begotten Son.
Yahweh, Ba'Shem, Yahushai, Ba'Shem, Chakadash.
Double honors to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone, Ruel, and peace, love, and salutation to you, Akim, that's pushing the truth and truth sincerity. All right, we're the real Hebrew Israelites. We're not black Hebrew Israelites. Okay, this brother, he ain't black. Okay, we're the real Hebrew Israelites. We come in week out, prophesying the downfall of America. And I'm sure our brother's going to get into the wars and rumors of wars. What I want to get into is these tribes, man, because there's, you know, as the Captain Gamaliel brought out in the class, we got to know who our people are. And we have to know when somebody from a different tribe comes up, we got to know how to discern through the spirit who they are, and we got to break it down to them. So we're going to go into like 3 tribes, and, you know, Lord willing, you know, you're edified, because it's what it's all about. It's about edification. It ain't about, you know, sometimes you be in the spirit, get on the black woman, or, you know, whatever. But it's all about edification at the end of the day, building our people up. The word edification goes into building up. We have to build up brothers and sisters for the times that we're coming into. So we're just going to go into Genesis, the 49th chapter, and we're going to break down Zebulun, Asher, and Naphtali, okay? And there's a lot of Zebulun, Asher, and Naphtali in the city of Atlanta alone, let alone the world. Like this brother from DC, I'm sure there's a lot of Zebulunites in his city, but we're just going to get into it. So we're going to start off in Genesis 49:1.
All right, this is Genesis 49:1, and it says, "And Jacob called unto his sons, and said, Gather yourselves together, that I may tell you that which shall befall you in the last days."
And we're in the last days. When our Lord Yahushua came upon the scene of the earth, that was the end. That was the last days. So Jacob, he was a prophet. He was prophesying what was going to befall his sons in the latter days. All right, and Jacob, his name was changed to Israel. I believe that's Genesis, the 32nd chapter, where he fought the angel, and he went from Jacob to Israel, which means Yasha Allah. He is the prince of the power. So he was telling his 12 sons what will befall them in the last days. And here it is. We're here in the last days. We're here in 2022, where we're hearing wars and rumors of wars. And Jacob was prophesying to his sons what would happen to him. So we're going to go into Zebulun, okay, the people, the indigenous people of Panama to Guatemala, all right, the Central Americans. So did you get the verse 2?
Yeah, I get that. Yeah. Okay. This is Genesis 49:2. It says, "Gather yourselves together, and hear ye, sons of Jacob, and hearken unto Israel your father."
Mm-hmm. Yeah, Jacob's name was later turned to Israel. So we go to, I think it's like verse 13. We're talking about Zebulun.
Kind of is. It says, this is Genesis 49:13, and it says, "Zebulun will dwell at the haven of the sea." And he shall dwell, and he shall be for a haven of ships, and his border shall be unto Zidon.
Yeah, that's talking about Zebulun, the indigenous people of Guatemala to Panama. If you look on the ancient biblical map, okay, Zebulun is nowhere near the coastline. It's like landlocked. All right, so that has to be talking about Genesis 49. Where it's talking about the latter days, right? All right, and these people will be located in the latter days around Central America. And we're going to prove it through the spirit and power of Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahushai, and we're going to go into the blue letter. The captain got the word haven in the blue letter, and it lets you know where our people are going to be at, these certain tribes.
Seashore, coast, or shore. When you jump down to the Strong's definitions, it says from an unused root meaning to cover a cove as a sheltered bay, coast of the sea, a haven, shore, or seaside.
Yeah, so the Panama Canal was built in 1914. All right, now you had, I think it was Charles V of Spain. All right, back in the 1500s, to make an access between the Atlantic and the Pacific back during that day to get to Peru, because when these Edomite explorers came over here, they had to go around. They had to go to the bottom of Argentina and Chile and come back up through the Pacific. All right, but during 1914, Esau, he took on that challenge of building up the Panama Canal. I think it cost $375 million. And as the captain went into the class, a lot of people from the West Indies, Benjamites, came over there to work. Because, Jake is always trying to go somewhere to work. He's trying to go overseas to work. He's trying to go to another country to work. And what he mentioned in class is basically there was a lot of casualties that happened during the Panama Canal. But it was built in 1914, and it's a 48-mile waterway that connects the Atlantic to the Caribbean Sea, and the Caribbean Sea goes into the Pacific Ocean. So that alleviates a lot of trouble getting over to that waterway, getting over to that path of land. And that was biblical prophecy concerning Panama, all right? The Panamanians, the Central Americans, all right, tribe of Zebulon. The tribe of Zebulon in the Hebrew is Zabalawan, which means dwelling. And that dwelling is that area of the Panama Canal. All right. Now, in the Wikipedia, because we have to teach our people who they are, because we got to let them know who they are, and we got to let them know that destruction is coming. The Babylon the Great is going to be destroyed soon. Mm-hmm. So when you look up Panama, it says when you look up the motto of when you look up the anthem of Panama, it says himno estimno in Spanish. It says hymn. Now hymn is a song. The word hymn goes back to a song or singing to God. Now hymn, it's a hymn of isthmus, and the isthmus, if I can bring it out, is exactly what we're talking about. We're talking about the land region of Panama. All right, so the isthmus of Panama. I'm gonna get the definition of isthmus. It is the definition of isthmus. It says a narrow strip of land with sea on either side, forming a link between two large areas of land. And that's Panama. That's clear as day. It's linking, the large strip of land in Panama is linking up the Atlantic Ocean and the Pacific, and it's a way to get between North, Central, and South America. Okay, Central America is between here in North America and South America. That little strip of land is the isthmus. So the isthmus, when you look up the definition of isthmus, it's right on point about who these people are. You know, you got something.
This is bear with me 1 second. I'm gonna find it. Just give me 1 second.
Yeah, come on.
This is Ezekiel 28:5, and it says, "By thy wisdom and by thy traffic, thou hast increased thy riches, and thine heart is lifted up because of thy riches."
Yeah, that's, Esau, so-called explorers, they were really murderers and savages. They weren't no goddamn explorers. Colonizers. Christopher, well, it wasn't really Christopher Columbus, but these Edomites had the doctrine of discovery, where in the name of Christianity, they could come over here and tame so-called savages. But they weren't savages, they were Israelites. It was already civilized here before you goddamn devils came over here and started fucking shit up.
And if I could say, they say they were savages, but they had whole-blown cities.
Yeah.
Aquifers and agriculture and all those things, you know what I'm saying? But then they come over here, and because they were peaceful, because I was reading something about Cristobal Colon, he said he handed one of the natives a sword, and he grabbed the sword by the tip and cut himself. And then he said, shit, they don't even know nothing about war.
Yeah.
He said, with 50 men, we can enslave them all.
Mm-hmm.
So that was the mindset of these Europeans.
Yeah.
They didn't think that, these men, they were peaceful, they were giving, they were honest, they had like a virtuous spirit about them. No, he looked at them and said, that's their weakness right there.
Yeah.
You about to take them down because of it.
Yeah. That was biblical prophecy, man. That was fulfillment of the scriptures, man. All right, because Judah and Israel. You come on now.
Capitalism is
All
found.
right, Judah, Israel, whatever Esau. Judah and Israel had to come together on this landmass, man. That's the fulfillment of Jeremiah 50 and 33. All right, but Zebulon, all right, the so-called indigenous people of Panama to Guatemala, all right, those are the Zebulonites, man. And like I said, you got a lot of Zebulonites in the city of Atlanta. You got a lot of Central Americans here in Atlanta, Georgia, man. All right, and Lord willing, they take hold onto this word, man. All right, whatever, they speak Espanol, but whatever, Lord willing, men, women, and children of that tribe get this word. That's why we out here, to bring them the gospel, the good news.
A lot of so-called Negroes think they're Negroes, but they're really Zebulonites.
Yeah.
Because when you really you be around Panamanians, Panamanians really be looking like straight up Negroes.
Yeah,
right?
you're right.
So you got a lot of that think that they're Judites, but are really Zebulonites.
Like this dude, I think Pop Smoke.
Yeah, Pop
rapper.
Smoke.
He's a Zebulon.
He's a Zebulonite.
Yeah. He's Zebulon.
Yeah.
From he's from like Panama, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, I had a homeboy back in high school. His name was Orlando. He looked like a straight Judite, but he was Panamanian.
Yeah.
You got something, bro?
I would say the same thing. I grew up with somebody, they looked like a so-called Negro, but they was from Panama.
Yeah.
They have a precept.
Yeah, go ahead.
To what you said, bro. This is Wisdom of Solomon 2 verse 10. It says, "Let us oppress the poor righteous man. Let us not spare the widow, nor reverence the ancient gray hairs of the aged." This is the point. Verse 11. "Let our strength be the law of justice, for that which is feeble is found to be nothing worth." And when you go to the beginning of that chapter, it says, "For the ungodly said, reasoning within themselves." So when they actually thinking about, like you said, when you grab their thought process was something of, I'm going to subjugate them, as opposed to, they actually peaceful, they harmless, because they're the wicked, they're the ungodly. So that's another clue to let you know who those devils is and who actual Israelites are.
That's right. Yeah, because hey man, that brother was saying that's biblical. That's fulfillment of biblical prophecy, man. And then another thing, I don't know if we're gonna go into it, but 2 Ezra 13th chapter talks about how the 10 tribes were carried away from Assyrian captivity, and they came to Arsareth, man. So that was about a 1.5 year journey. They came through the Euphrates and came down to the Horn of Africa, came down around South Africa, and then went up to North Central and South America, which was roughly a 1.5 years. Even during the time of King Solomon, because that scripture talks about unto Zion, all right, during King Solomon's time, he commissioned Hiram and Hamites to come over here, which was about a 1.5 years, and they came over with apes, peacocks, gold. I think that's in 1 Kings, the 10th chapter. So that took a 1.5 years, man. And there was those
It took a 1.5 years to get there.
you have to get back. Yeah, the water. 1.5 years to get there, 1.5 years to get back.
Hey, well, with Esau and his traffic, scriptures say by his wisdom, by the end of when the British banned the shipping of slaves from Africa, because it was the British that stopped the ability to ship slaves from Africa over here. That's where you get the whole breeding of slaves over here. But so when they would see, the Lord had to stop that, because at that point Esau was able to get from the other side of the world over here in 30 days. So here it is. The scriptures say by Esau's wisdom he got rich. So Solomon, it took him a year. It took him 3 years to get from over there to over here to get his riches. Esau was shipping our ass over here. It was taking him from one new moon to the next new moon.
Yeah.
That's what happened was, I did a little research about this. Esau had realized the African wind system, right? So there's a wind system in Africa that goes like this, and all of the wind from Africa blows northward toward the U.S., if I'm saying that correctly. So if you catch that wind, it'll literally only take you 30 days to get from the Horn of Africa all the way over here to the U.S.
And Esau with his steam, the invention of the steamboats, his innovation with the scriptures say that knowledge shall increase.
Yeah.
So like you said, that's why Esau knew, like the brother just showed, that's why that land of Zebulon, that area where Zebulon is at, that's an important area. The brother showed.
I got
it. Hey, matter of fact, let him read that real quick for you.
it says Panama Canal cost Americans around $375 million. Skipping down a little bit. says that would be over $8 billion today.
Damn.
Also, traveling through the canal isn't cheap. The average toll is about $54,000, with some going up to $300,000
toll.
just to go through.
God damn.
In fact, I got a scripture there. I got a scripture for you too.
That shit is crazy.
I got another one for you real quick. This is Habakkuk. This is Habakkuk Habakkuk 2:5 for you. And it says, yea, also because he transgresseth by one, he is a proud man, neither keepeth at home, who enlargeth his desire as hell, and is as death, and cannot be satisfied.
Yeah.
But gather unto him all nations, and heapeth unto him all people. So like what the brother's going into, him conquering that Panama Canal was really going into him being able to heap unto him all people as well.
Yeah.
You know?
And what a lot of people don't
So
know
ambitious.
is that there's a road, believe it or not, that goes all the way from Alaska, all the way to the bottom of South America. It's a road. You literally drive
Yeah, it is.
from America, from Alaska, all the way down to the bottom of South America, and that's going through the Panama Canal.
You know, there's another road. There's another road. I think the longest road in the world goes from South America, and you can ride South America all the way to I want to say Russia and Europe.
You gotta be kidding me.
Yeah, there's.
This devil he done got everything
Man, they
set
say
up.
he got rich by his traffic.
That's crazy. But yeah, that's basically Zebulon. You can your additional research, you can go into the customs, like the food. They got like you go to these Central American restaurants, they got the pupusas. So it's basically like a round shaped quesadilla, basically. It's like a circular shaped quesadilla, basically. The different foods, the different customs, like they have like as the captain brought out, they have certain the women have dresses named the La Polera. It's like this big dress, and they got fringes on it, And then the men, they wear montunos, which is like basically like a white garment with a hat. And you have to get into the culture. You have to get into different things with these certain type of people. That's the tribe of Zebulon, the so-called Panamanians to the Guatemalans. And Belize is in Central America as well. Okay, they were unified up until like the 1900s. There's like 7 countries there, so that's the tribe of Zebulon. All right, the Panama Canal lets you know in the end times that those people will be living in that region. All right, so we're gonna go to Asher, okay? Because ain't everybody so-called Mexican, man. You know what I'm saying? That's the white man's logic to think everybody Mexican. And, these Negroes, they say the same shit too. All these Mexicans. No, it's Zebulon, Asher, Naphtali. All right, you got Simeon. All right, you got Ephraim, Manasseh. Ain't everybody Mexican, bro? You know what I'm saying?
I was gonna say too, like what they do is they try to lump all of the so-called Northern Kingdom tribes into 2 categories: Latino and Hispanic.
Yeah. You
know what I'm saying? Like that, they cover them all. Well, if you're Dominican, you know what I'm saying, you Hispanic. Latino. If you're Mexican, then you Hispanic. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And they try to classify everybody in these little small groups. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? That's what they do.
And yeah, nowadays they're trying to lump them in the Latinx, that no gender bullshit. Now we ain't going into that, but that's a proverb in the Bible. That's in Deuteronomy 28 chapter. You got a lot of Negroes that talk about the Latinos ain't Israelites. That's a proverb in the Bible word, man. You call them Hispanic, Latino. You're not calling them by their biblical nationality. We just got into Zebulon. We got to go into Asher. You gotta, if you believe in the Bible, you gotta go to these different biblical nationalities in Genesis the 10th chapter, man.
Hey, well, bro, if you're into the Bible, you should have at least a level of curiosity to wondering who they are and where they are today.
Yeah.
Because when you go from the Old Testament to the New Testament, when you get to the New Testament, you read from Matthew to Revelation. Yeah. Really, until you get to Revelation 7, you don't really get an understanding of what is it, the 12,000 from each tribe. Yeah, and then it's like, oh, there's Asher, and then there's then you see Reuben and so on and so forth. Yeah. You should, if you're into the Bible, you should be curious to who are actually the 12 tribes of them.
That's right. Yeah.
This is Asher 25 and Isaiah 25 and 7. And it says, and he will destroy in this mountain the face of the covering cast over all people, and the veil that is spread over all nations.
Yeah, because you had this Edomite, I forgot the name of the German. He made classifications of man. He went into Caucasoids, which is,
Darwinism.
Yeah, Darwinism. He went into these different distinguishes of so-called races.
Johann Blumenbach.
Yeah, Thwada, bro. Johann Blumenbach. He went into these different distinctions of races. But, that's all man-made, man.
Yeah,
Negroid, Caucasoid. We're going according to the scriptures, man, of who these people are in the last days.
Because with that, brother Salaki, that categorizing of Jake, that gives Esau, see how he does. The southern kingdom come from the Negroids, right? The native tribes, so-called, they Asiatic.
Yeah.
And then the Latino tribes come from the Khazars, or the Caucasian, whatever that. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And that's all bullshit. But that's hard. That's part of him. And you know what that does? That puts. That's why we have to do this, because it creates division. It literally creates division. Where nah, y'all white people. Nah, you're Asians. That's bullshit. No, we're Israelites.
That's right. You remember that lesson we did years ago?
Man, yeah.
And that motherfucker called me an Asian. I was like, yo.
He called all of us to the car more what?
Let's listen, man. But then you got to go in there and you got to do the research, though. Like, a lot of these northern tribes that were over here on this side of the earth, man, they got the same setup that they had in the ancient times.
Yeah.
Right? They had the, like you said, the fringes. They had the cities of refuge, like Jericho. They had these cities here, man. They got the Shammai. They got the Shammai. All right. They know that, man. These people, man. You go back and I'm telling you, you go in there, you get curious. How the hell they got pyramids over here? But then there's pyramids in Egypt.
There's pyramids in America.
That's what I'm saying. Like, you be sitting there scratching your head, like, man. That's why you say, you got to be curious.
Yeah.
You go in there and be like, yo, that's my people right there. It's like, come on, man.
I'm gonna say, to back you up, there's actually, like what you said, there's actually more physical evidence to prove that the Latin tribes are Israelites as opposed to so-called Negroes. Like you said, the artifacts, you said like the Moabite stone, all the pyramids. You know what I'm saying? All that.
If I make Bishop, if you Google like who's Reuben or who's Gad,
Right.
oh, it's gonna tell you.
It's gonna say it.
It's literally gonna tell you. Oh, the Native Americans. It ain't even gonna be a hard search. They're gonna show a picture. Yeah, it's gonna have a whole picture of a Native American. But then, like you said, you go to Judah, it's like,
Right.
you know,
Yeah.
you don't know.
You gotta get Judah and know that you gotta be on the spiritual level.
Right.
Yeah, it's plain. It's out.
You're just being stubborn.
Just being a nigga, man.
And then too, like, this is why Esau, they're now
right.
discovering pyramids in America.
Yeah.
But the native tribes, Reuben, you know what I'm saying, the North American Indians, and so on and so forth, they had already been here. So who's to say that they didn't build those when they were here?
Right.
They had the knowledge from way back when on how to build them. You know what I'm saying? But then you want to sit there and say some bullshit like, oh, these pyramids predate the ones in Egypt. Bro, your carbon dating has been proven to be lies. You know what I'm saying? And, real quick, he brought out this Isaiah 25, and I just wanted to say what we're doing right now, how we're identifying the tribes, is actually removing the casting cover that this devil has put upon the nations. Because now we're telling you what your biblical nationality is, not according to what Esau told you, but according to the scriptures. You know what I'm saying? And the men are telling you how you got there. You know what I'm saying? Like how you got into that landmass. You're not who Esau say you are. You're who you are according to what the Bible says.
That's right.
You got it.
I got a precept, if I may. Ezekiel 37:16. Moreover, thou son of man, take thee one stick and write upon it for Judah and for the children of his companion, Salakia, and for the children of Israel, his companions. Then take another stick and write upon it for Joseph, the stick of Ephraim,
and for all the house of Israel his companions.
Yeah, that's the tribes, you know, coming back together, man.
Yeah.
All right, and we coming back together because, like I mentioned earlier, Jeremiah 50:33. This is the land where we've been oppressed at, man. But we're coming together. The elect is coming together under the word, man. All right, that's why we got this sign out here. Let our people know who they are. You know, you got guys that's trying to say the 12 tribe sign is false,
right?
Because you know whatever, man. You got these guys. Sooner or later, they're gonna be Old Testament Israelites. You know what we're talking about. The guys that be throwing up gang signs in their videos and whatever. Them guys are gonna be, oh, we don't believe in the 12 tribe sign. But you have to have the spirit. You have to have the oil to discern these things. And as brothers are bringing out, you have to get into the research. You know, these tribes are coming back together, and there's more research as well. Like I just looked up a minute ago, when brothers were speaking. You had the Fuente Magna, which is a bowl that was found in Bolivia, near Lake Titicaca in Bolivia, and it has a Syrian on it. That goes back into 2nd Ezra, this 13th chapter, how they came here from the Assyrian captivity and came over to the Americas, man. But we're gonna get into the tribe of Asher. All right, the tribe of Asher, the Hebrew word is Ashar, which means happy. And we're gonna get into the tribe of people who Jacob was talking about in Genesis 49th chapter.
I got one more verse.
Yeah, go,
verse 17. And joined them one to another into one stick. That meaning bring the tribes together. See, like what the brother was making a good point about the tribes being separated. You know, and that separation really happened after the Assyrian captivity. You can read that in 2nd Ezra, the 13th chapter, starting at about the 40th verse. But really even going before that, the house of Israel split during the time of Rehoboam. Okay? You read that in the book of Kings. So when the tribes split, you know, what happened was Judah was pretty much the predominant, Judah, Benjamin, Levi was pretty much the predominant tribes over in the Eastern world. So a lot of people had only thought them to be the Israelites. That's right. Now it was known amongst, you know, certain nations that Israel did travel over to the Western world, but a lot of the other nations really didn't know where the rest of the tribes went. So Esau really didn't take account for the other tribes when he tried to sneak into the land.
That was high level wisdom.
Yeah,
you had to be a high level person to even know, like Christopher Columbus knowing that he was a high level.
He was a high level because he had the records, but the average person, they didn't really know like the tribes came over here like that, man. So then what happened was when Israel got kicked out of the land in 70 AD, and then the Khazars, you know, eventually moved up in there and they took over the land and started calling themselves Jewish. But one thing that they didn't consider was the other tribes. Who are the other tribes? Now you might hear them say, oh, well, it's the Germans. The Germans is a tribe of Reuben, or you might hear them say that the British might be this tribe, and
North America's that.
And the French might be the Scottish, you know, or whatever the case may be. But guess what? How did they lose their identity? If they are the Israelites, right? How did they start to call themselves French and Greek and all these other names? How did they stop calling themselves by the tribes?
That's right.
Okay? Then you're going to have other Khazarian historians that's going to say, well, those other tribes separated, and when they crossed the Sambation River, they pretty much, you know, dissipated into the other nations. Which that's not biblical. Okay? So if we want to use accurate biblical knowledge, okay, and historical facts like what the Elder Ratazal was bringing out earlier, we can put these tribes onto one stick, because these are the same people that fell under the same curses.
That's right.
Okay? Every curse that happened to Judah happened to Gad. Right. Every curse that happened to Gad happened to Zebulun, so on and so forth. So that's how we bring them together, by identifying who they are. And one of the curses is a heavy indicator. Right.
Because the curses say that. The curses say that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. It's a very heavy indicator on who the tribes are. Right. You can even tell that certain of the people in Asia, they got to be Israelites because they under the curses. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Just because you're an Israelite foreigner don't mean you're not under the curses.
Right.
Even the Israelite foreigners went into slavery up under the heathen nations. Yeah. Look at what's going on in Japan in them sweatshops, them jakes.
How the Irish was treated when they came over here.
I was thinking of that. They was getting lynched. They was getting beat. Just like straight up.
You had the Irish. You had the Irish slave trade.
Yep. See that?
The Polish. the movie Slumdog Millionaire.
Yeah.
They go to show you that you got certain of the Punjabi Indians over in East India that get treated like shit by the real true Elamites.
Spiritual. Right, I say that. It's a spiritual thing.
Yeah, the untouchables.
It's from the seed. And you're part of that seed line. And it says, I think it's Numbers 14, where it talks about how you have the seed of your father. So if you come through the seed of an Israelite, regardless of what nation you've been scattered onto, you know what I'm saying? The curse is gonna fall on you.
Yeah. I mean, it's not this truth is not about a black thing. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. It's darker shades of brown. Some jakes, they might look like the other nations, man. And that goes into the scattering of the Israelites in Deuteronomy 28 and 64, because they were scattered across the four corners of the earth. And that Great Commission in Matthew 28, when Yahweh Shai talked about to preach unto all nations, because there's Israelites in them nations, man. That's right. All right. That's why Paul was set up, man. That's why our apostles and elders were set up. That's why their elders were set up to bring about this word to the four corners of the earth, man. You got a precept?
I got one for you.
Yeah.
You just called it. This is Deuteronomy 28 and 64.
Yep.
And the Lord shall scatter thee among all people from one end of the earth even unto the other. And there shall serve other gods which neither thou nor thy fathers have known, even wood and stone. And among these nations thou shalt find no ease, neither shall the sole of thy foot have rest, but the Lord shall give thee there a trembling heart and failing of eyes and sorrow of mind.
Yeah, you got certain tribes in Asia too, because you got to keep in mind, back during Vietnam War, they enlisted Judah, the so-called Negroes, and they enlisted Puerto Ricans. They enlisted about 50,000, close to 50,000 during the Vietnam War. It's in Revelation. Laos, Cambodia, Vietnam. So what do you think is going to happen? Paria means I am fruitful. Yeah. So they're going to have a bunch of children. There's a lot of Ephraimites over there in Southeast Asia.
Man, these are the women love us, man.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
All right. This is the truth. Like this is where like Salaki, this is where the reality and the realness of the scriptures come into play. Because you got a lot of people that want to fantasize and make this be something more than what it is. The nations, like you said earlier, the scriptures say that Israel is as the sands of the sea. Right. What do you think? Sand becomes people? No. You know what I'm saying? A man and a woman create children.
Yep.
A great example of this is not going into that tribe, but through the spirit. What's his name? Blake Griffin.
Yeah.
Blake Griffin is a perfect example of a lot of you will get choked up on his son, man.
Yep.
His son is like a blonde hair, blue eye. Man, that's a Haitian boy, man.
Yeah.
That's a Levite.
That's a Levite, man.
Yeah. Look at Patrick Mahomes. All right, look at his daughter. That's an Israelite.
Right.
Yep.
She look like a Edomite. That's an Israelite.
And you got a problem with that? That's on you.
Yeah.
You can't see it. They can see everybody. Not everybody's gonna see it though. Because the scriptures say that they was blind.
Can I read this for you real quick, brother, to back up? This is Deuteronomy, same chapter 28, and I'm gonna start at 45. And it says, moreover, all these curses shall come upon thee, and shall pursue thee, and overtake thee, till thou be destroyed, because thou hearkenest not unto the voice of the Lord thy power, to keep his commandments and his statutes, which he commanded thee. And here's the point, and they shall be upon thee for a sign and for a wonder upon thy seed forever.
Yeah, so that lets you know who the Israelites are, man, when these curses follow you, man. All right? Curse shall you be in the city, curse shall you be in the field. The field represents the world. That's Matthew 13 and 38.
Yeah.
Man, no matter where Israelites go, they are cursed. You got Israelites in the Philippines, man, catching all hell. You got Israelites in Japan. You got the Israelites in Japan that's following those lowrider cultures of the so-called Mexicans. This is hard. Those are jakes, man. Those are niggas, man.
I see this one song they had Japanese gang members.
Yeah.
And then they had a picture of goddamn some Mexicans over here in America and they ganged up.
Yeah.
Like they the same fucking people. They go through all Turkey, man.
You got cholos out there in Japan, man.
Hey, well, real quick, brother. That's why a lot of you forgot a country, because this is another stumbling block for Jake. Africa. You got a lot of Israelites struggling in Africa. A lot of you see them big belly fly around the head Africa, Jake over there in Africa, a lot of them are Levites, man. Because the scriptures speak about in, what is that, Malachi, what is that, the 2nd or the 3rd chapter? That the Lord will make thee the basis of the people, man. So you got a lot of, man, the tribes is everywhere, man. And the curses speak more than the talent, man. Jake want to judge the talent on Jake.
Levi is damn near a microfiber away from a Hamite. When you really look at him, you don't know how to distinguish the two. You know? Like, you sure this is a Levite? It's true. You know? Because they done been brought so low, they done been made the basis. Hey, because you gotta remember, Levi, the tribe of Levi, got a whole nother covenant with the Most High outside of the tribe of Israel. So they fell twice as hard, man. So hey, if you a Levite in the truth, that mean that you was one of the, you had to be one of those pure Levites, man. Because the whole tribe of Levi has been brought down double. They really caught the most hell out of anybody. Out of all the, I mean, Judah got it. Judah was the most publicized. They got just totally embarrassed, documented. Like when it come down to the conquistadors, you got a lot of drawings of what happened to the natives and Spaniards. But with Judah, they got straight up and down publicly embarrassed. You know, but Levi got brought low, man. They got brought to the lowest estate. You know, they got brought all the way down to the ground, man. So all these, it don't matter where you go, man. Jake go to Dubai and get still treated like a nigga. You know?
Yeah, man. The Spirit Brothers is bringing out the tribes and going into that because, hey, we in these last days, we're trying to seal up the elect, man. You know, so that we can get out of here. A lot of our people still don't know who they are, man. I was actually at one of my family's house, and they never heard of the Hebrew Israelites still, which is shocking. That's crazy. You know, but the vibration is still being pushed out there. But like the brother said earlier, man, all this that we're doing is for the edifying or the building up of our people. All right, go ahead and get that.
This is Ephesians Chapter 4, verse 11. It says, and he gave some apostles and some prophets and some evangelists and some pastors and teachers. Verse 12. Yeah,
because you know, brothers got all these brothers got many different skills, many different talents, man. You know, so Yahweh Shai, when he left, he gave us many different talents, man. Can you read that one more time?
Guys, Ephesians chapter 4, verse 11. And he gave some apostles and some prophets.
Yeah, some apostles, some prophets. Go ahead.
And some evangelists.
And some evangelists. Go ahead.
And some pastors and teachers.
And some pastors and some teachers with different skills, man. Because a lot of our people, we got different traits. You know, we reach people differently. You know, but keep going.
It says verse 12, for the perfecting of the saints.
For the perfecting of the saints, man. We trying to reach that perfect, but we striving to be perfect like Yahweh Shai. But all together, you know, we represent the body of Yahweh Shai. That's right. You know, we coming back into our power. Go ahead.
Okay. It says, for the work of the ministry, for the edifying of the body of Hamashiach.
For the work of the ministry, for the edifying of the body of Hamashiach, like the brother said earlier, the edifying just simply means to build the building up. You know, our people was lost sheep. That was the whole mission. Yahweh Shai, he brought, did the Great Commission, which they call it, you know, which was to what? Go out there and prophesy, man. Because our people are lost. So when you know, sometimes you feel like you might be going through the motions, all right, but the ministry, the work that we're doing is a great work. This was prophesied thousands of years ago to be happening, man.
This is meat.
Yeah. Yeah. And look, it's got the elite shook, man. You see all the moves that they doing right now? It's for a reason, man. All right, now was that on that?
It keeps going.
That was all I really wanted, I believe. Go ahead, get Habakkuk, second chapter. Yep.
God. This is Habakkuk chapter 2, verse 1. I will stand upon my watch and set me upon the tower, and will watch to see what he will say unto me, and what I shall answer when I am reproved.
Yeah, so hey, that's what we doing. We are the watchmen for our nation. We seeing the different things going on. We see what's going on with Russia and the United States, which is biblical prophecy, but we understand the way that the Lord is going to do this thing, man. You know, like the world, they in darkness. they confused, man. They don't know what's going on. If you look on social media, they say, man, what is going on with the world? You got people actually talking about pray for the world and pray for Ukraine.
Yeah.
But guess what? That's not in the will. The Lord doesn't care about them, man. The Lord is not telling us to pray for the world. We actually hastening the day, man.
Pray for destruction.
Yeah.
I pray not.
Yeah. But this goes to show you that people don't know the scriptures, man. We was actually, before we actually left to come to the camp spot, 12 years a slave was on. You know? And man, what the fuck was that Edomite kept saying, man? He just kept saying, he's calling him a nigga, man. Yeah, he was like, run, nigga, run. And he was like, hey, I can't wait till we just slick up a little code. Can't wait till we be able to do that to them.
Yeah.
You know, my dad was like, what? You know? He said, that don't sound right. I said, what you mean? I said, payback.
Right, yeah.
He said, but the Bible say vengeance is the Lord. I said, yeah. But he gonna give us that authority. He said, I don't know about that. I said, you want me to show you? He's like, nah.
I don't want to know that.
Hey, because people, they don't really know the scriptures though, man.
Revelation 13.
Hey, we can grab it.
I'll grab it for you.
You know?
This is Isaiah 14:1. It says, for the Lord will have mercy on Jacob and will yet choose Israel and set them in their own land. And the strangers shall be joined with them, and they shall cleave to the house of Jacob. And the people shall take them and bring them to their place, and the house of Israel shall possess them in the land of the Lord for service and handmaids.
It's really important to know. That's why you gotta be taught by the right people, because you can just plainly read that and think that the strangers, of course, if you let Vocab Malone tell it, that the strangers can cleave on to Israel, man.
Right.
But when you really understand it, we were just talking about how we were scattered. Our people was lost, so they are them strangers cleaving back on to Israel. And then it goes, it keep going on that, or like read back one more sentence.
Yep. Verse 2 again, it says, and the people shall take them and bring them to their place, and the house of Israel shall possess them in the land of the Lord for service and handmaids, and they shall take them captives, who captives they were, and they shall rule over their oppressors.
Yeah, that don't sound like, you know, all the strangers cleaving on to us. You know, or all the heathens, I should say, cleaving on to us. It sounds like we're gonna have possession, man. We're gonna take captive those who had us captive, man.
That's right.
And the Lord is 100% with that.
That's right, man.
Hey, matter of fact, before we got this knowledge, we didn't know that we was gonna be able to do these things. But it resonated with my spirit as soon as I heard it. Like, yeah, because you know, growing up in Christianity, you would think that, damn, that is wrong. I was thinking just like how my dad was thinking. That's two wrongs don't make it right.
Right.
You know, that the doctrine of Martin Luther King.
And I was just thinking that as you were saying that. Yeah.
But the scriptures say that that's acceptable, man. You know? Go ahead.
Classic. This is 2 Thessalonians chapter